wonderful viewers out there. It's the Journey Season 2 for you that comes your way on Block TV Gambia, and I am your fine host, Aminata Sawaneh. Today with me, of course, I have a young Gambian who is the former president of the University of the Gambia, and I'll just allow him to introduce himself and take us through his journey. EBRIMA, you're welcome to the Journey Show, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Aminata, and it's a pleasure to be here. Like you said, my name is EBRIMA DAMPHA, former president, University of the Gambia Student Union, now current president, National Union for Gambian Students North. I currently work as a human resource and admin officer with the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority at Banjul International Airport. It's definitely a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Before going further, we told you among the only 3 scholars that are awarded the UK government scholarship. Tell us something about that scholarship.
Yeah, thank you very much. UK government Children's Scholarship, it's a scholarship that targets young people, leaders already, people with an established network, and of course with a clear cut career path. It is an annual scholarship that is given to Gambians from different backgrounds, and I am lucky to be part of the awardees this year. Actually, there were three people that were selected in the first instance, but there are other candidates who are put on reserve. So it is possible that the government, that's the UK government in this sense, fund, and if that happens, they might update certain people, and it might be more than 3. But as of now, we are 3 selected for this year, and it's a pleasure to be part of it. And I want to use the opportunity to encourage all prospective applicants to consider applying for the Children's Scholarship. It is rolled out every year, and you just need your undergraduate degree. You have a leadership background, you have an established network, a clear-cut career path, and also know about what you want to do in the UK. If you got that, now that Children is looking for you, just apply and you'll be given, inshallah.
Yeah, and congratulations on that. Yes, you are the former president of the UTG, and this is a whole union. When we talk about the University of the Gambia, it's actually the only university in the Gambia. How have it been, in terms of challenges, being the student leader of a whole union?
Thank you very much. That is quite an essential question. I consider my responsibility or my time at the university as one of the most exciting moments for me. My time as president was very, very daunting because it came at a time when I was faced with many challenges, not me, to be specific, but my union, and I believe the whole country, globally at large, because these were moments where we were deeply hit by COVID-19 pandemic. It was a daunting experience, but yet an inspiring and exciting one for that matter. It helped me to grow personally and professionally. It helped me to develop myself in terms of leadership and network, and it also helped to furnish my influencing skills and as well my negotiation skills. It was very, very challenging, like I said. This was a time that we had to organize a Students' Week in the midst of COVID-19. It was the time that the government declared all public universities to be closed, which the university was not an exception. We had to come with another method of learning, that is online, introducing online learning platform, also faced with various challenges during that time, and many, many as well. But as the discussion goes deeper, you'll be able to know some of the challenges we faced, and of course some of the landslide achievements we've registered.
Yeah, that takes me to the closure of the the university due to the COVID-19 that you mentioned. We understand online classes was actually introduced, which was difficult according to many students. So as a president, how do you what procedures do you take, to cope this, among students, to make them understand it is not the intention of the government to close all schools, but because of the COVID. That was actually a pandemic. I think that was done to curb the spread. So how was it? What steps do you take as a president to, communicate to the students that we are under your union?
Yeah, thank you. This was not easy. Like you said, this decision was beyond our control. This is a decision that was taken by the government of the Gambia. And naturally, their decision is informed by a global pandemic, like I said. So it was very difficult. In the sub-region, many of the universities have opted to close, but the University of the Gambia being a proactive university for that matter, and myself being in the leadership, especially in the student cadre, engaged the management to introduce this online lecture platform. It was not easy because this is the first time for students of the university to be introduced to an online learning platform. So you expect so many challenges along the line. And not only that, it was never prepared for. It was something that we were not expecting. Just that it came, from nowhere, and we had to just adapt to the situation. We had difficulties in the onset, especially knowing the university is a public university. Most of the students do not have these gadgets that will be needed for online lecture platform. In fact, even those who have it don't know how to use it. But we had our IT department who was frequently teaching students as to how to use this. My office also was able to provide gadget as in the form of loan to many of the students, those who don't have the smartphones. And I was also able to put together the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and different GSM operators to provide megabytes for students and also to provide the learning platform for students. Of course, these were some of the things that we've done to make sure it's a success. But we were faced by numerous challenges. But with commitment and with teamwork, of course, with the task force led by Professor Pierre Gomez, the now acting Vice Chancellor of the University of the acting Vice Chancellor Academic, was very, very instrumental. And together we were able to do this and roll it out successfully. And even up till today, the university is still going for an online learning platform. That is the hybrid system. There are other people that will come on campus to learn with lower, smaller classes, but there are others with large classes who will do their classes online. Yeah.
Yeah, that is fine. So now we're going back to your journey. I have seen a post that you have shared on Facebook when I see comments congratulating you on the scholarship that you get. There were words that you mentioned that were really heart-touching. I mean, having to see you at this position now tells us that you also have a story to tell. I mean, you are trying to tell people it wasn't easy being a student at the first place, especially from high school, being in a family which is not financially strong. So can you please take us through the story? I think my viewers will be really interested to know about that.
Yeah, it is quite an interesting one. Easy to narrate today. Yeah, like you have read on the post, the intention of the post is to encourage many people. I know there are many people out there who are like me, who are struggling and having or being in a state of dilemma, just to quench their appetite and make them believe that they can do it. It all started, of course, during my primary school. It was never easy, like many other people, like I said, going to school and coming from a family who is not financially strong, who is not very much exposed in terms of education, who is not related or connected to anyone in the corridors of power, especially the contemporary Gambia. Everything we did it by ourselves with the support of my two parents, my moms, and of course my dad as well. It was not easy, especially when I was going to Mindao at the time. We live in Windom. We used to walk barefooted from Mindao to New Windom for about 7 good years. I remember when I had to start from my grade 9, I completed with a very good aggregate. I couldn't remember exactly. I chose Nusrat and I was admitted, but because of financial constraints, I had to revert to my previous school to do my secondary school. Well, it went well. I went there and I completed with 9 grades, and of course, very good grades. But I couldn't start my university at the time, even though I got admission.
Yeah.
So, it was late. Also, I couldn't go to the college, so I had to be an unqualified teacher. I remember I was posted to Kafuta Upper Basic School at the time, so I had to go there. I was there for 2 years teaching as an unqualified teacher and also teaching at Jase Technical Senior Secondary School, that is so in the subjects of economics and accounting. It was definitely not easy. So at some point, I realized that going to university would not be easy. The only thing I could do is to go to the Gambia College, even though it was not an option that I had. But I did, and I never regretted. I went to the college. I studied English language and mathematics, higher teacher certificate, completed with a distinction, of course, best in my area.
Yeah.
Then, luckily, I also I was posted to many schools. I taught at Samasan Senior Secondary School, Mindao. I taught there. I taught at Methodist. I taught at, yes, a couple of schools.
Yeah.
And from there, I was there. I later had a job with the airport, that is with the aviation security. So I quit teaching and joined the airport. That was the time I was able to put up some money together to save. And then I saw an application again because I got admission at the university since 2011 in the subjects of mathematics,
Okay.
but I didn't have scholarship. So when I came 2016, I applied. I was re-admitted. So again, I was able to put some money together. I paid for myself. My first semester, I paid for myself. Second semester, I paid. Then the third semester, there were 3 scholarships that were out. I applied for the higher education scholarship. I applied for the UTG scholarship. I applied for the civil aviation scholarship. So, but luckily for me, I got all these scholarships at a go.
Oh.
You know, so that's where things started changing. Then I chose one of the scholarships, then continue with that. You know, but when I was at university, I was very instrumental because I used my teaching knowledge at the Gambia College. Many of the students in the university at the time, most of them are just grade 12 graduates, so they find it very difficult to understand some of the technicalities in subjects like economics, econometrics, calculus. So I established what is called tutorial cycle in the School of Business. I used to call it BPA tutorial cycle, where I would bring together many of the students, mature students, regular students. Sometimes when they come to our classes, you think this is just an auditorium. Yeah. Classes will be full and we'll be teaching each other, you know, developing ourselves. That is where I was able to gather that public attention and public support as well. So the students were like, okay, EBRIMA, we all know you. This is ECOMANTRA elections. That is the BBA elections. Yeah. And they bought a form for me, a campaign, and I also took a right campaign and I won, you know, massively. I became president at that is the School of Business and Public Admin. Okay. Then the following year, when I became president at BPA, I was more exposed to this leadership and all that. Even though at the college I was the chairman of the Education Students Committee, but I was not very, very exposed to leaderships, challenges, and all that. But you know, BPA is a very big school. It's the biggest school in the university. So I was faced with many, many challenges with my executive. But when I was able to surmount those challenges, that inspired me to contest for the presidency of UTGSU. And what happened, there is this award that UTG gives Student Leader of the Year every year. Yeah. So I was lucky to win that. Okay. When I won it, I felt, okay, good. If I could be the Student Leader of the Year in the university, then I could be the president. Sure. So with the support of the people around me, I contested. And funnily, I contested in the banner of Alliance. They have never won. Mm-hmm. But when I contested, I won in each and every polling station. And I have more than 1,000 vote margin between me and my opponent, which has never happened in the university. I've won in every school. I heard that projects in university is actually also very interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting, but I actually won with my entire team. We all won, and we took up the mantle of leadership, and that is how it all went until I was also nominated to for this position, Emerging Youth Leader of the Year, by the West African Leadership Summit in Nigeria when they won the award. So when it was selected by the International Students Week in Germany some time ago, I applied. I was also selected from the Gambia to represent the university, also, you know, a couple of times to Belgium, to Oslo as well, to represent the students, and also to Morocco, of course, to Freetown, to many, many countries. That has also helped and developed me personally and professionally. Yeah, until when I completed. But one big thing that I'm very proud of is that with all these leadership skills, with all this time, I've always created time for my education. And I completed my undergraduate degree as the overall best student in BPA and the second overall best in the entire UTG class of 2020. Yeah, and I was going to come that. Too, you know? Yeah, having to have all these responsibilities and, you know, doing all this for the union. I was going to ask, how about you in academic life? Do that have anything to do with your academic performance? Yeah, of course. Because what actually happened, if I was not president, I want to believe I might even be the valedictorian. Because I think we have 0.12 difference between me and the valedictorian. Okay. But definitely it requires time. At a certain point, you will not go to class. But for me, one thing I always do is that even though I did not go to class, I will make sure everything that a lecturer lectures I have grasp of it, and my free time I utilize it to read at maximum. My assignments I do it, exams I'm always there, and I always prepare well. So coupled with commitment and experience as well, because I'm going to the college, so I am used to contemporary Gambian education system. So I want to believe that helps me. And if you're a teacher, you teach it that helps you more. And for me, I'm in the university and still I'm organizing lectures for students.
Okay.
So sometimes there are certain things I don't even understand, but when we go to the class, as I'm in front lecturing it, I capture it more and I even understand it better. So that helped me so much, to be honest. And then, yeah, it was very helpful. And that is why I want to believe I came as second overall best student. And that was very helpful in my Chipnin application and other applications that, of course, Chipnin is not the only scholarship. I got the career scholarship as well. Okay. But I'm choosing the Chipnin scholarship. So I think that is the journey in short. It was difficult, easy to narrate, but difficult in practice.
Yeah, EBRIMA, so as I was saying, you were the former president of the university. You know more. I know you have other engagements, but then you have started something. I mean, helping the students and, So do you have any future plans as in organizing or forming an organization, that will help the students, leave that legacy that you leave there? Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite an essential question. Of course, it's important as leaders that when we leave a landmark. This we leave something that we can always reflect on. And that has been my mantra during my time as president. And the tutorial cycle is even now more formalized. Students now gather together to teach one another, and that continues. And of course, I have plans because when I was president as well, I championed the establishment of an institution called HOPA, Human Resource Professional Association, that helps students in the university as far as job is concerned, and also support human resource professionals within the university cohort. So this is something that I left behind, and I hope always to see it continue. I am not coming back to physically teach them in the tutorial cycle, but it is my sincere interest and intention to come back and serve the university as a part-time lecturer. And I believe I already started that because currently I'm already a lecturer at MDI as a part-time. Okay. So after completing my second master's, when I am back, my intention is to serve the university as a lecturer of adjunct, in the area of performance management, public policy, human resource. And I hope it becomes something that is beneficial to me, myself, and the university.
Yeah, that is indeed interesting. I mean, having to have this notion to actually go back to the school that taught you, to teach them back, is actually a big thing. How about the schools that you taught? You told me you were once a teacher. Yeah, so
actually that's a very important question. At the level of my former secondary schools, it will be difficult for me to go back there. But we have these associations there, for example, Mindao Students Association, and other associations where we can contribute, where sometimes we are invited to come and give a lecture, to come and talk on a topic, or to advise students on relevant matters. But we hope that we continue to work closely with them in any way we could to develop their school, of course our former school, and of course to develop ourselves as well.
Yeah, that's indeed great. So we're almost at the bottom of the interview, EBRIMA. What is the way forward? Let's say the last word. What message do you have, especially to the young people out there who are actually watching this program?
Yeah, thank you for the young people out there. I think I am going to encourage all of us to be ready for the challenge. There's no way that we can easily sail through in the circumstance that we found ourselves, but we definitely don't need to give up. And we need to realize that we are not the future leaders. We are leaders of today and leaders of tomorrow. And for this country or anywhere to progress, young people must take center stage, as already echoed by John F. Kennedy, that any country whose young men and women are in a constant state of slumber will never realize their potential. So young people of this country, especially those within the academic cadre, must be ready to take the leadership and also to take this country to the promised land. And the signs are shown, especially yourself. You're doing extremely well. And I want to use this opportunity to thank you so very much for granting me this opportunity, not only coming to your TV, but also allowing me to share my story with people out there. No one knows who will be inspired, even though it is one of the lower among others. But I am really grateful, and I wish your program to continue and to prosper to the higher height. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. EBRIMA said we are not the future leaders. I mean, we are the future of today and tomorrow. Yeah, so that is actually a wake-up call to all the youth. It's the journey so for you, as I said, the season 2. And I will say a very big thank you to my camera team, Maha and Matlamin. They are the ones behind these beautiful images and videos. And of course, to the CEO of the journey, that is Mariam Sise, my very own bestie. I am your fan host, Aminata Sawaneh.